Yeah.
Yerrr.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Yerrr Sports Show. I am your host, Big Baby, a.k.a. the soul of R&B. And to our bottom this week, we have the voice of a generation, Pete Rosado.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? I'm trying to get one last day of warm weather in before I go back to the cold.
Don't feel too bad up here. BK Matt will join us shortly. And to our top right, we have the queen, the undisputed world heavyweight champion of the Yerrr Sports Show, 25K Tay.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
Nothing.
These some faces of some tired ass people this week. So if you're watching us, bear with us. But
Yes, that's gonna be me later on tonight. Trust.
Queen, how was your week?
Tired.
Deep sigh. I feel it. Pete.
Week wasn't too bad. Drove down to North Carolina. Had to take care of some car stuff down here, and then headed back up to New York tonight. So heading back up, but otherwise the week went by pretty quick. It just sucks. I'm at home all the time now because my school went remote again.
Really?
My school my school had a water main break, and so they went remote. And we decided originally we thought we were only going to be remote till the beginning of November, and then they realized the damage was worse than they thought. So we're going to be remote until the beginning of February. So I'm stuck at home again.
Lucky you. Like,
nah, I can't, and I get it. Like in the one sense of like being inside the house all the time is like very like it rattles your brain. I get that. And I was okay with it like during the pandemic, like everything was really, really bad and we really couldn't be outside. Like I could rationalize it and I could get it. But now with like things somewhat being safe and things are somewhat getting back to normal, and you know, those of us who are doing what we need to do and are taking care of business the way we need to can kind of still move in certain ways. And then you're stuck at home. It's like, oh my God. But
I don't know. That I can't relate to that, bro.
my wallet will love me though.
Carmen
My wallet will love me.
Oh man, my week was pretty good. Work and just house stuff like laundry and stuff. Nothing too crazy. We're kind of short staffed where I'm at, so it's been a bit of a ride, but for the most part, not too bad. Definitely not too bad. But other than that, Pete, do you have some quickies for us? I can't hear you.
I do have some. I'm sorry. I do have some quick hits, and they are relatively quick.
All right.
The quickest of quick hits.
Oh, let's see. Let's get right into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Quick Hits for the.
Wait a minute. I never heard that music before. Like, what happened? Where have I been?
No, produced by BK Matt as well.
Okay.
That's your first time paying attention to it?
I mean, this is the first time I'm ever hearing it. So wait.
Like this song been on for like months.
No, you're lying.
Yes.
It has.
Yeah. Before we went on our break, it was been on for a couple weeks before that.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, good morning, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy. No. Let's start with the big news. While everybody's enamored with the beginning of the NBA season, Major League Baseball is finishing up its season, and we're getting into the beginning of the World Series. We already have one team in the World Series, and that will be the Houston Astros, going to their third World Series in 5 years as they beat the Red Sox 5-0 in Game 6 of the ALCS. The Astros won the last 3 games of that series to clinch the American League title.
We're gonna find out they cheated again. That's what, yeah.
Listen, let's not go there. Let's go to the National League side of things, though. We're going to Game 6 tonight against the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Braves up 3-2 in that series, can clinch a spot in the World Series. I believe they're first since 1996, if I'm not mistaken. If memory serves me right, Braves first time in the World Series since 1996. If they win Game 6 tonight against the Dodgers. Dodgers, though, not starting Max Scherzer tonight. They will actually be starting Walker Buehler on short rest. Max Scherzer complaining of a tired arm, and the Dodgers have just been injury riddled. Mind you, they are in the NLCS, and they are not playing without Justin Turner, Joe Kelly, Max Muncy, and Clayton Kershaw. Not to mention, David Price has not appeared in a game since October the 2nd, has not lasted more than 2 innings since sometime in August, but he was added to the National League Championship roster. So it's going to be interesting. Can the Dodgers once again come back from a hole? They did it last year to make it to the World Series. Can the Dodgers make it to the World Series a second year in a row and come back winning the last 2 games of the NLCS? Or will we see the Atlanta Braves for the first time since 1996 in the World Series? Now, a team that we've been waiting to see in the World Series for a pretty long time, and their fans are a little upset. The New York Yankees announced this week that they are bringing back manager Aaron Boone, giving him a 3-year contract with a club option for a 4th year. He went 328 and 218 in his 4 years as Yankee manager, and he will become only the 2nd Yankee manager to come back to the team to coach a 5th year without having won a World Series in the 4 years previous. Last time that happened was in 1922. And Boone is going to have to rebuild his coaching staff. He lost his hitting coach, his assistant hitting coach, his first base coach, and his third base coach. Going to the NBA, Gerald Green. Gerald Green retired after 12 years in the NBA. He will be joining the Houston Rockets coaching staff as a player development coach. So congratulations to Gerald Green on his 12-year career, and now his beginning of his career as a player development coach.
Man, that's interesting.
Going to the NCAA, and NCAA football has had 2 really big stories this week. LSU and head coach Ed Orgeron have decided that they will be splitting at the end of this season. Mind you, Ed Orgeron taking, and I would love to be able to do this at a job, took a $17 million buyout of his 6-year contract. He signed that 6-year contract at the end of the 2019 season when Ed Orgeron led LSU to an undefeated national championship with Joe Burrow as his quarterback. But after losing his defensive coordinator to Baylor and his offensive coordinator to the Carolina Panthers, they've gone 3-3 this season. They had a really rough season in 2020. They've been beset with management issues and coaching issues. And so 21 months after signing a 6-year deal to be the head coach, he will be departing at the end of this season. Again, $17 million buyout. I'd love for someone to pay me $17 million to leave a job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd just love for someone to pay me $17 million just because.
And the last story, I'm sure this is not the last we're going to hear of stories like this, but I don't know if y'all heard, the head coach at Washington State got fired. Nick Rolovich got fired earlier this year, a couple weeks ago, and he is now suing Washington State University for illegal termination, citing discrimination and vindictive behavior. Nick Rolovich was fired along with 4 assistant coaches because he did not get the COVID-19 vaccine, and he had put in for a religious accommodation, being that he was a Catholic, put in for a religious accommodation, and the accommodation was not granted. And his lawyer saying that it was not granted because of Washington State's process. Apparently, they use a blind panel process, which means the application for the exemption just goes in front of the panel without the name or the position of the person applying. And he states that had they known it was the Washington State football coach, they would have granted his exemption and he wouldn't have been denied. He was one of Washington State's, not just the school, the entire state of Washington. He was one of their highest paid employees, state employees. His contract had 3 years remaining and about $9 million left. And the university AD saying that he was fired for cause and because of that will not be paid for the remainder of his contract. There is no buyout, no severance or anything. So Nick Rolovich suing Washington State for illegal termination. And it blows my mind. It really does. This is probably the one story this week that has really blown my mind the most. Like, I don't understand, especially, when you put in for religious exemption as a Catholic and then the Catholic Church puts out a video saying, yeah, we want you to get vaccinated. Well, there goes your religious exemption.
Boom.
Exactly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Quick Hits for the week of October the 23rd.
Definitely. Thank you for Quick Hits. Now,
17 million though?
Yeah.
17 million to get fired?
I just want my job to give me $17 to be like, hey, here you go. Just because. You want lunch? Cool, thank you. But last week in Pick 5, it was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I can't hear you, Tay.
I think we're tied.
Me and you should be tied, but let's see what the official stats are.
Damn Broncos, they crapped the bed, man.
Yeah, that was a hard pick. That was a hard pick right there. But let's get into it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Got that Wu-Tang ass beat for Big 5. But Pete, what were the results of Pick 5 last week?
And what Dre, you had the most successful week last week. Almost went 5-0. We were talking about somebody having an undefeated. Yeah, almost. We were talking last week about somebody having an undefeated week, and then you almost went out and did it. You went 4-1. Tay, myself, and Matt all went 3-2. The Broncos and the Bills are Tay's 2 losses. The Bills and the Chargers for myself and Matt, and you only lost on that Bills game. As for the overall standards, yes, Tay and Dre are tied in first place at 18-12. I have a one game behind at 17-13, and Matt 2 games behind, bringing up last place, but not by much, at 16-14.
He's talking crazy. The man's still in the basement. We on week 7. Man's still in the basement.
Bruh.
Oh man.
But it's tight so far over the course of the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, the defending champion is holding her spot. Like, it's hard to get a lead. I had a game lead for like 2 weeks, and then Tay took it back.
I tried to take a chance,
mm-hmm.
and I went with the Broncos. I was like, I thought they were going to be able to pull it out. Then they got demolished.
Yeah, that was something else right there.
Yeah, I was watching that game so annoyed. Like,
I can imagine just
they did it for Gruden.
Jesus.
The Raiders did it for John Gruden.
I bet they did. This week's game sucked to pick out of them. Like, I looked at the schedule, I'm just like, Lord, there's nothing here. But I found a couple games. So the first game, Chiefs versus Titans.
Hold on. I haven't even looked at the
schedule?
Yeah.
Yeah, the schedule is full of teams that can care less if they're on TV or not, most of it.
I mean, there's a couple of good games. I think there's one game that's definitely most people are going to not really think is going to be a big game, but might actually be a crazy game this week. I don't know if it's on our pick 5 list, but I'd see maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe 4 games at that. Like the Monday night game loses a lot of its luster with Russ being out.
Yes and yes and no, because it's still I think that's still an important game. But
it's an important game, but it loses a lot of its luster and a lot of its competitiveness.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I'm going with the Chiefs.
Okay. Stay with the Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Titans.
I'm hard pressed to pick Kansas City because their defense has just been absolutely abysmal.
Garbage.
Absolutely abysmal. But KC needs to pick up wins where it can, and I think this is one of those games where it can. The Titans' offense outside of Derrick Henry has not wowed me the way I thought the way they should have wowed me this year so far. And so while I think Tennessee will rack up points, I don't think Tennessee's defense is really going to be able to do much to hold Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to take KC in a shootout. I wonder what the over for this game is, because I honestly think this might be one of those games that if you're betting in Vegas, take the over.
I think Derrick Henry is going to run all over that defensive line.
Yeah, but I think the Titans secondary unit is not going to be able to catch up. I mean, going to keep up with Kansas City either. Kansas City has a turnover issue that we do know that they have not been an offensive juggernaut this year like they've been in a couple of years past. I don't know what it is, but I do feel like there's a team that's going to, I think they have the best chance of picking it back up. They just have to remember their identity, remember who they are, and go back to the formula that works. Right now, they're not using anything that resembles anything of that Super Bowl team from a couple of years ago. But I believe there's teams that are always simmering in the distance, and I think the Kansas City Chiefs, are one of them.
Will the Chiefs be one of those teams that barely edge in the playoffs and then just go on a tear, basically?
I see that. That was their reputation at first. You know what I'm saying? I think they have an identity issue right now. I think that they're still trying to figure out who they are. I don't think that they made any key moves during the offseason. I think they tried to move heaven and hell to keep their core together, and that makes a lot of sense. But I feel like where they had opportunities to fill in some holes, they didn't do so. I believe that Patrick Mahomes is still a lethal quarterback. I feel like he does have his 2 most prized weapons on that field. And I feel as if these couple of weeks have not been a good reflection of their reputation, but I do feel like the barometer isn't set yet.
Yeah, I mean the Chiefs are 3-3. Titans 4-2. They barely beat Buffalo on Monday Night Football. I mean, Henry's been the one consistent spot for them, but that defense. I mean, the Bills could have won that game against the Titans. That defense definitely gave them opportunities to win that game. I don't think you can do that against a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen definitely needed to take that next step and did not show that against Tennessee, but you can't do that against a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. Do I definitely think that Tennessee has the ability and the opportunity to score an upset here? Yeah, because they are underdogs by 4 points. But Kansas City definitely needs to get wins where they can get them, and this is a win they need to get if they want to continue to be. I think this is the first week that they're not Super Bowl favorites in Vegas. I think Tampa Bay has actually vaulted them this week.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay has a really easy game this week that they should win. So
that's the one. That's the one that I said might be the interesting one that I was mentioned earlier.
Yeah, game that they should win. But Bengals versus Ravens. I will go with. I'm going with the Ravens. I'm sticky. I'm staying on the Lamar Jackson train. I know Pete is has a little bit of hateration in the air for Mr. Jackson, but I'm standing by my quarterback. Now I will take Lamar Jackson and the Ravens over the Bengals.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on, BK Matt? What's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Wet. It's raining out here.
What?
Not see all that? Not necessary. It ain't necessary. It's raining out here.
You know what you said. You know what you said, bro.
I'm not saying another pick until Matt says who he's picking between Kansas City and Titans. And I'm not going
I don't even know what's been going on with the damn Chiefs. Like, other than the fact that like their defense
sucks.
Less than, yeah. Like, I'm
braids look like Lil Wayne's braids on the cover of like the first Carter album.
That's where I was going with it. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. You know, even though people have been saying I look like Lil Wayne since the block is hot, but yeah.
Back it up, then stop. What dropping like it's hot?
I'm gonna go with the Titans. I don't know what's been going on with Patrick Mahomes. Can't keep playing hero ball, and I think that's going to be the real detriment to them is the fact that he's gonna wear out. He can't do it all by himself.
Yeah, but you loved it when Aaron Rodgers did it, though.
That's because he's Aaron Rodgers.
You think Aaron Rodgers is better than Patrick Mahomes?
I think Patrick Mahomes is a variation of Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Oh, I'm tired. You know what? Let me tell you what I'm tired of people do, right? And I keep saying this all week. Y'all like comparing. Like, there's nobody like Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. Tom Brady.
He's a hybrid.
Hello. Tom Brady wish he could have that mobility, okay? And Aaron Rodgers, he wish he had that skill. So
are you saying that Aaron Rodgers doesn't have any skill? Is that what you're saying right now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to stick with that?
I've been keeping the same energy for 2 years.
Pete, make it make sense. How does Aaron Rodgers don't have no damn skill? So that's what we're doing right now. Dre, you going to allow this?
No,
Aaron Rodgers don't have no skill?
We will not sit on this topic because we have the rest of the show to get to. So
he picked the Titans.
Yes, he picked the Titans. So
who did y'all pick?
I picked the Chiefs. I think they're gonna wake up.
Pete picked the Chiefs. I picked the Titans as well.
They should have woke up 2 weeks ago.
Almost doesn't count.
It's looking spooky.
It's been spooky. It's been spooky the whole year for them.
It's looking real spooky for them right now. I'm not even gonna hold you.
So the next game is Bengals versus Ravens. I am picking the Ravens.
I am picking the Ravens as well.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something though, and I've been talking about.
Pete is not picking the Ravens. I'm sure he's not.
So Tay's picking the Ravens and Dre's picking the Ravens.
Matt is picking the Ravens too.
Yes, I am.
I'm picking the Bengals. And
such a hater.
No, it's not that.
No, it's not
the Ravens. The Ravens also have no backfield. They're starting. Latavius Murray is out as well as their backup running back. I believe. I'm forgetting what's his name. I think it's forget the cat's name, but he started for like the first time in 2 years. Murray used to run.
Latavius Murray.
No. He used to run for the Falcons.
Oh, not Freeman, right?
Yeah, Devonta Freeman. There we go. Thanks.
Okay.
Not Murray. Devonta Freeman is starting.
Not bad at all, actually. He ran pretty good last week.
First time in like 2-3 years. And so and Cincinnati's got a really, really, really good team. And I think they're going to take this next step. I definitely think this is going to be the shootout of the week. I'm going to take Cincinnati in this one. I think they have the type of team that can challenge what the Ravens do have. I don't really trust the Ravens defense. It's another team where I don't trust their defense. And that's odd because the Baltimore Ravens are known for their defense. I don't trust their defense. And I don't know. Again, I don't know when does the Lamar Jackson one-man show begin to show some wear and tear? That's going to be the question. We're in week 7 right now. And that's going to be the big question. You know, we've seen this with many other quarterbacks in the past. The one-man show at quarterback usually does not last the whole season. And so I'm going to take the Bengals in this one for those reasons.
Colts versus Niners. I'm going with the 49ers.
Carson Wentz. I'm going with the 49ers too. I said what I said.
Garoppolo's coming back.
Yeah, Garoppolo's coming back. I don't care about Wentz. Go with it. But even though Carson Wentz looked good the other day, like he's been looking pretty good actually. But well, that's because he's not in Philly. But
yeah.
Who you going with, Matt?
49ers.
Me too.
It's a tough game to pick, honestly.
I think this is the easier of the other couple ones. I think the other ones are a little closer than this one.
Colts are 2-4. San Francisco is 2-3. They've already had their bye. T.Y. Hilton is out. But they have not. The Niners have not been that good, even with Garoppolo's start. This one's a tough game to pick. Come back to me before the end of pick 5.
Okay. So the next pick is Falcons Dolphins.
Oh God, they're both horrible. Both horrible. Oh geez, I'm going with the Falcons though. Shockingly, right? I'm going with the Falcons because Dolphins gotten even worse. I'm sorry, they have. They have no faith in Tua no more. It shows. It's just it's just all around bad. So I'm going with the Falcons.
I too am going with the Falcons. Tua's still coming off being hurt from earlier in the season, and I don't think Miami is that same Miami from last year that was sneaking up on teams and getting key victories. So I'm going with the Falcons. Who you got, Pete?
Oh, I'm taking Miami. Tua, in all of his games this year, has actually played well. Mind you, he only played one full game, and then he played last week. He was out while Miami. You got to remember that. He played week 1, played great. They won in week 1 with Tua as their starting quarterback. He played only a couple of snaps in week 2 before he went out with that rib injury, and he's been out for 3 games. And they lost all the games without Tua at quarterback. Then he came back, and they almost won last week. Jacksonville needed a hope and a prayer and a miracle. But everybody, you kind of knew that Jacksonville was going to get a win at some point. I thought it was surprising that they did it against Miami. So I am going to take Miami and Tua. They've been better with Tua as their quarterback. And honestly, I don't know what Miami's really do. If they don't have faith in Tua, I don't know who they have faith in, because the quarterback that everybody's linking to Miami cannot play right now. Everybody keeps saying that there's going to be a trade between Miami and Houston for Deshaun Watson. And I'm just like, you don't get Deshaun Watson without giving up Tua. And then what do? You have no quarterback. So if they don't got faith in Tua, they got to find another quarterback besides Deshaun Watson to have faith in.
So I don't even know. I've heard the rumors, but I didn't like add levity to it because his situation is still kind of murky. So I mean, even if they was to add him, I don't think he's able to play. Is he even able to play?
He's not. Well, I don't know. The NFL hasn't suspended him, but then again, the Texans have had him on the inactive list all year. I highly doubt you're going to put Deshaun Watson out on the field.
That's their way of still paying him and punishing him, which doesn't make no type of sense whatsoever. But him going to Miami, that doesn't, erase the situation that he's in. So again, I do believe that you sure they didn't suspend him? I could have sworn they did. He's on that list.
I don't believe he's suspended. I
could have sworn he was on that list.
Yeah, but who do you have between the Falcons and the Dolphins?
Me?
Yes.
Why this game?
He's on paid leave.
It was nothing else. I didn't want to pick the Jets and the Patriots, and the Giants
That's going to be a
hobbled.
good game.
The Giants are hobbled. You're hoping that's going to be a good game. I understand.
No, it is going to be a good game.
I'm going with the Falcons.
Okay. Yeah, this was the most unpredictable game out of all of them because they're both bad. So,
they're both horrible. I mean, granted, I think the Jets and the Patriots are going to be a good game, but we already know the outcome
I think the Jets
of that
can
game.
win that game.
They could, but I kind of already feel the outcome is going to be set in stone.
Yeah. For the game before it, me, Tay, and Matt. Well, Tay and Matt, y'all picked the Niners too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we'll come back to Pete at the end. Saints versus Seahawks. I'm just gonna go with the Saints here. I know, but
jeez.
Yeah, I'm taking New Orleans. They've had a very up and down season, but again, I think this game, I think you would have been better pressed taking the Jets and the Patriots as the final game of the week. Because this game, I mean, it loses a lot. Who is Seattle without Russell Wilson?
Exactly.
What is Seattle? Russell Wilson, as much as people try to downplay what he is to that team, he is the identity for the Seattle Seahawks.
Who downplays Russell Wilson?
A lot of people say that a lot of people still say to this day that the identity of the Seattle Seahawks was created by the defense, and without that defense, the Seahawks are just a regular team, and Russ is just a good quarterback.
But how far
no
removed are we from the defense, though? That defense isn't the same.
Now, you have to, when you talk about Russell Wilson, you have to put him in the same conversations as Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger and those quarterbacks of that caliber. He is as effective in the identity of those of that team as they are to those teams. We forget that they almost won that second Super Bowl if it wasn't for a blown call by Marshawn Lynch.
Wait, by Pete Carroll, right?
No, I thought Marshawn Lynch messed that up.
No, Pete Carroll called for them to throw the ball. Yeah. Garbage juice.
But I think that he's one of those quarterbacks that, because he's not in the media with the drama and he's not in the media with the nonsense, and you know what I'm saying, like you tend to forget how good he actually is. And I definitely agree with you, Matt. It's like, how do you look at the Seahawks without Russell Wilson? He's been consistently good. He's barely been injured, if at all. You get what I'm saying? And now, like, they have to reassess how they're going to play out. I don't know how long he's out for.
I think he's out for the majority of the season.
A good portion of the season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ain't no way in hell they making the playoffs. I can tell you that much.
So are we all picking the Saints?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking.
I know I am. I don't know.
And I don't like Jameis Winston at all, man.
Yeah.
I think he's too streaky. I think he's too up and down. I don't think he's consistent. I think he's too. I don't know. He being in the spotlight as the New Orleans Saints starting quarterback. You know, his flaws are really. It's sticking out like a sore thumb, more than his time on other teams. Because the teams were abysmal, so it's like it's easy to hide behind that behind that.
Yeah, because nobody was checking for Tampa Bay when he was on there.
Not at all. Nobody cared about Tampa Bay.
Nobody was checking for Tampa Bay.
I forgot they were a team when he was on the team.
No, I forgot he was even on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was there for a few years too.
Yeah,
Dre don't let us forget it. Dre don't let us forget it. 30 for 30. You always do that.
Yeah, Mr. 30 for 30.
It's true.
He threw 5,000 yards, but that's like throwing 10 turnovers. That's like throwing 10 assists and then throwing 10 turnovers.
I eat Russell Westbrook.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
I said what I said. I don't care.
John Wall has done that, though. But
John Wall's a better point guard. I said what I said too. I said what I said.
Oh my goodness.
You cut your pearls just now.
I'm going to take the 49ers as well.
Wait.
So you picked
for
the
that last game that I hadn't picked.
Oh, so you picked the Saints though too, right?
Yeah,
I'm about to say offsides, technical foul clipping.
No,
what?
No. I picked the.
We're not gonna play.
No, I picked. What
is he doing?
No, I picked the Saints. I picked the Saints for the last game.
What is you doing?
No. Pete was doing his own pick. He was doing his own pick five for a second.
I picked New Orleans, and I was the one who basically started the whole conversation about Russell Wilson. Remember?
Pete, you're on delay in North Carolina. I think that's what it is. It's okay though. It's okay.
No.
It's lagging.
But
it's
you know what's interesting though, Dre. I'm just gonna say this so it's on tape and on the record, and maybe who knows? Maybe this man goes on another Super Bowl run because of it. Keep an eye out on that Bears Tampa Bay game. Tampa Bay is without a lot of players. They're very injured this week, and that Bears defense, their offense has been terrible, but that Bears defense, I think, is number 2 or 3 in the league at rushing the passer. I'm going to be very interested in that game. I'm not saying who's winning or losing. I'm not saying anything else than that. I'm just saying keep an eye on that game.
Who the hell are you?
You just giving the Bears a compliment in general.
Where was this guy last year? What are you doing right now? This is not Hills. This is not the show Hills. You don't get the face turn whenever you want to. It don't work like that, Pete. You keep the same energy.
Turn. It's not even a face turn.
For Chicago, it is. I don't know what he's doing right now.
I hated the quarterback, not the entire team.
He was in Chicago today.
I saw the train.
I
thought I was gonna be in an episode of Shameless. I love that.
I hated the quarterback on that team. That's what the problem was.
They should have ended with Fiona. Seeing what I'm saying?
No, for real. She was missing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You done doing the pick 5 on your own over there? Man, it's like 4 games behind.
Can we muévete on, please?
I downloaded that song, by the way. That song's kind of
which one?
Fashionable. It's what's that? What's the Spanish girl from Love and Hip Hop with the big afro?
Amada Da Negra.
That's her name.
You said that with so much enthusiasm too.
He's Spanish. I expect it. He probably in the cut right now. He probably over there moving there. I know you over there dancing. It's all right though. You ain't got a lot for me, man. It's cool.
At the top of your playlist, Pete.
It is. That and
no,
Gasolina.
I've actually never listened.
Ew.
I've actually truthfully never listened to a single song.
The whole move back in the day. You couldn't tell me nothing about Gasolina. We used to be up in the clubs like, puro.
That song is so nasty, man. Like,
I don't even want to try to understand what it means.
Queen, yo quiero bailar, tú quieres subar, y quédate a mí, este poro sa. En Donoma. Dile que bailando le conocí. Come on, Pete.
Those are legends, obviously. But no, I've actually never ever listened to a single song that Amada Da Negra has done.
You didn't even.
I'm not gonna go that far. I like Insecure. Insecure is kind of dope.
I said those are all legends. I said those are all legends.
I'm talking about Marlon, nigga.
Yeah, Pete, you were supposed to sing back because you were probably the only other person here who could have sang it back.
I'm just saying. He got his hair swooped back. I was about to sing Suavemente. That's what I was about to do.
That's the mini swoop. That's not the Captain America like he used to have. Play games.
This is I have absolutely no product in my head, nothing but water, and it's actually really soft because I washed it a couple days ago. So
I thought that's what y'all do though. You just put water on it and just stays.
No. I have well behaved hair, but that's it.
It looked wet, but it's dry. Okay, prime time.
Yeah, this is dry. It's just soft as hell. My hair is just soft as hell.
All right. Let's get into today's topics. We got a couple. I'm really surprised that I can't wait to talk about the NBA. Bill Dan Morton. We'll start with the NFL. We'll get into the NBA. You know what?
Just go right into it.
One more time. All right, ready now.
Wait, what
Now,
happened the first time?
No, I
He
just felt
wasn't
like
feeling
playing it. I just felt like playing it again.
He wasn't feeling it, you know.
They hit a whole
It got-
thing.
It does
You want
something
to
to
hear
the
the whole
soul.
thing?
It does something
Can we
to the
just sit
soul.
here for 3 minutes and play the whole song?
Y'all words. Yeah, I gotta relax.
Y'all go on all these 3-minute tangents. I mean, I miss the music. Yeah, what happened to when we were playing music before the episodes? Like,
Yeah, that was dope.
We kept getting copyright strikes, so so you know, we'll go back to it soon. I got to find a way. I might need to tweak some of the music. Or we can listen to all Matt songs.
You know what, Tay? I don't need you. I don't need that. It's all right. It's all right.
You know, so funny story before we get into the stuff. When Matt was up here one of these times, me and him was in the car, and he put on some of his music. Matt got the most LL Cool J lick your lips ass music ever. Matt be coming in sounding like LL. I'd be like, yo, what?
I was for the culture. I was for the streets at one point. It's cool.
I was having a debate about 50 Cent yesterday, by the way. Right?
Is it the same debate me and you had? Me and you had a debate about 50 Cent a while ago. I just forgot. Go ahead.
All right. Do you think that 50 Cent is like his hip hop career? Put everything else to the side. Put the power to the side. Put the BMF to the side. Would you think that 50 Cent was like, would he have been considered washed up without those other things? Like, would he be another washed New York rapper?
You got to define. Do you mean like he's forgotten about, or? Yeah and no. No, because he's more tapped into a lot of the New York artists right now, and he's producing a lot of the artists.
I'm talking about his music only.
Nah, Get Rich or Die Trying is a classic. That still gets played. People literally still go to his shows just to hear Get Rich or Die Trying and Massacre.
He still does shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen 50 performing
Overseas. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of those rappers from that time and before that time, like 90s and early 2000s, they're not really doing shows here no more. The money is
the money is overseas. Busta Rhymes is overseas all the time.
Boy, he just dropped the album and nobody's really talking about it because not a lot of people knew.
Yeah, it was a couple months. It was like a month or two ago.
No, I think he dropped another album.
Another one?
Yeah, to celebrate how many years for was it Put Your Hands on My Oscar C?
24 years.
Yeah.
25 years since his debut.
Bro, I'm a Busta Rhymes fan, so I'm tapped in.
Can you believe like over 25 years of hip hop? Like Wu-Tang came out like a year before Busta Rhymes did.
Don't talk to me about Wu-Tang because how y'all like to liberally relate. I'm not saying no names and none of how y'all love to like liberally correlate one thing with another. You know, y'all get on my. The next time I see y'all relate somebody to somebody else, I'm leaving the show.
What are you talking about?
It irks. I don't know what it does, but it irks my nerves.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's for the kids.
My nerves. It just for some reason and y'all generation do that all the time. It's like y'all generation is so like booty juice that y'all gotta make sure that y'all compare just a glimmer of hope from my generation to make y'all's legit.
You do know we was alive during Wu-Tang, right? We're not that young.
Not really, but not really. You was not outside, okay? You was in the crib.
Wow.
I was in the crib.
You was on formula.
No,
Yeah,
I was
y'all
in the yard.
The thing is, when I look at certain things, I just look at the cultural impact and what it did. You get what I'm saying? Like, and what it signified, and like Wu-Tang, they revolutionized a lot of things for hip hop. Like, they changed New York hip hop at a time when New York hip hop was dead. You get what I'm saying?
Thrashed.
It was all about NWA and Dre and
NWA. It was just Dre. At that point, it was Dre and Snoop. It was no more NWA. It was Dre and Snoop and all that, and then all that West Coast nonsense. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we so liberally, like, we just forget, like, this one is like this one, that one is like this one. It's just like, no, this person is this one. They're them. These MFers over here, they're them. They're not even in the same genre. Like,
did y'all watch the series?
I watched the first season.
Yeah, I'm current.
Yeah,
I watch it every
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Current as well.
And like I said, and everybody forgets that ODB was the most talented member of that group.
Yep.
It shows in the season.
Yeah.
It shows in the season.
I think I go with ODB first, Meth, and then.
And let me tell you something. And Method Man was the most popular.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that Jizza and RZA had music. I mean, nobody cared about Raekwon. Nobody was looking for RZA and Jizza at all. If it wasn't Method Man, it was ODB. And if it wasn't ODB, it was Ghostface. And nobody else mattered.
Yeah,
I give you that. I'm not gonna argue with you on that. I'm a big Meth fan. Meth and Redman, those are my guys.
And I'm talking about Meth before Redman.
I know somebody.
Meth was big without Redman.
You gotta think about like 2 of their biggest songs from that first album was heavily influenced by Method Man, and it shows in the second. It shows in the second season.
And Method Man's like, people don't get put. If you want to talk about somebody who doesn't have respect on their name, it's him. Respect is not put on his name at all.
Meth is top 10.
Boy, speak on it.
Speak
on it. Boy, it's lyrical as hell. Boy, speak on it.
He can move a lot of out there 5.
I know you sitting there, boy, trying to calculate more sports facts.
All right.
This is the longest you've been quiet since I've known you.
It's tough, and here's why. Because even though I was outside during the time of Wu-Tang, at that time I wasn't as big of a hip hop person as I grew to be. I grew up in a home that was very much into either Spanish music or my mom was a very big alternative / hard rock fan.
I was.
So the first album CD that I ever owned, I call them albums even though they're CDs and not albums, but was Metallica's Black Album. I had Nirvana in my house and Pearl Jam and all that stuff, and that's kind of what I grew up on. And then when I became a teenager is when I really started delving into hip hop, and then I started getting really deep into it, started listening to a lot of the old stuff, and I gained an appreciation for a lot of the older generations of hip hop, and then kind of get lost in what we call that golden age of hip hop. So when most of the people were like listening to the early 2000s hip hop, I was still like just wrapping my head around mid 90s hip hop. So when it comes to the Wu-Tang Clan specifically, I honestly sit out of a lot of those conversations because while I understand their monumental placement as a group, I have not listened to them individually as much as I've listened to them as a group. So I don't ever feel like I should speak on something that I don't feel like I have the knowledge to speak on. I do think as a group, there's no way you can't put them in easily anybody's top 3 all time of groups. But individually, I've never, really studied or experienced them in the level where I feel like I could give any kind of real feedback.
Wu-Tang is for the kids.
Wu-Tang for the children, and they are officially Asian, remember?
Yeah, and I just feel like I just
Yep.
feel like I grew up on that's why I have a very eclectic taste in music because I loved it all. I mean, I was one of the only kids I knew that had cable in the late '80s, early '90s, so I was exposed to all that stuff.
like, like, like Yo MTV Raps and all of
I
that.
swear.
A lot of-
Everything.
yeah, not a lot of people
hmm
had that. You know what?
I remember when and before I was watching MTV before like Beavis and Butthead and
Mhm.
Ren and Stimpy. I remember when Rugrats premiered
On MTV, wow.
on Nickelodeon.
Well, no, Nickelodeon, boy, what's
and
wrong
when-
with you?
No, because no. She said she was talking about MTV. I thought
when
I
Ren
thought
and
she said
Stimpy used to come on MTV with Eon Flux.
My mom
wow.
used to watch. I used to watch it with her. But we used to watch Daria.
That
all
was
the
my
time.
show. I mess with
Man.
I
Daria.
have the complete series of Daria on DVD because when I saw it one day at a Best Buy, I was like, "Yo, I have to get this!" Like,
My
it
sister
was
is
legitimately.
Daria reincarnated in human form.
If I'm not mistaken, Daria is on Paramount Plus.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back to our
Right,
main
back
today's
to
topic.
sports. Back to sports.
Bill Walton.
Lord, we will not be talking about Bill Walton yet.
What are we talking about now?
Because
We
he
were-
made the top 75 and people are upset about it.
You know what? Yeah. We the topic I was going to talk about was
Kendrick
definitely
Perkins.
not important, but
Perkins.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins is like, I'm like, are you
He made the list?
No. Kendrick Perkins said
no.
something about it.
To say.
Kendrick Perkins, and that was gonna, honestly, that was gonna be my smoke section. But
Just
since
say.
we brought
Yo,
it up,
you
we
would've
might as well
told
just talk
Tavia.
about it.
If you would have told Tavia that Kendrick Perkins was number 75,
Boy, I
the
would've
whole
quit.
show, Tavia would be
I'd
like,
have been
"Oh,
Oh nah, the show
I don't
would
know
nah,
sports.
the
I
show
would
would
have done with
ended.
sports.
The show would
I would have
ended.
been done with sports. That is just ridiculous.
That I've been like, yo, what?
But it's crazy.
Done.
That was gonna be my smoke. That was gonna be my smoke session because I couldn't believe he said that.
What did
Bill
he
Walton
say?
is not top 75?
Yeah, like
he said that
I don't think
it's a
Bill- I don't think
travesty."
Bill-
Yeah,
I don't think Bill
he
Walton
said
is
it's a
top
travesty
75.
that Bill Walton made the top 75 list, but Dwight Howard didn't.
this is the biggest debate of the week right now. Is Dwight Howard and his
Dwight,
deservedness
Klay,
of no, but the biggest is Dwight. I've been arguing about Dwight all week since this list came
I
out.
just don't think there's a couple of people who I feel were way overranked, and I don't think they showed enough to be on that list yet. Not many, but just a couple. And and I hate to say this, but like I feel like Carmelo is one of them. I feel like Carmelo is one of them. I feel like Damian Lillard is one of them too. I feel
I
like
agree with
Too
Dame.
early for Dame. Too early.
I
for
agree
Dame.
with Dame.
it's even, and to be honest with you, Anthony Davis to me as well. I feel like he's been injured most of his career too.
That's another argument. I
Too
was
early.
No fault of his own. Giannis, Antetokounmpo, whatever it is, I feel like I still feel like it's too. If we saying it's too soon for AD, it's too soon for Giannis too.
Here's where they screw themselves. It's how they name the list. It's the NBA 75 greatest players of all time. You're going to tell me that Giannis has played enough for him to be ranked on the same list as some of the names that are on this list, or that AD. And that's why I agree with Tay. These players, it's too soon. They haven't done enough.
No. Wait a minute. Because Shaq was in his third year.
Yeah.
And Shaq was named the 50 greatest all time.
I felt like Shaq had no right on that placement yet either. Because by the time he had made that list, he was swept in the playoffs the year before. 4-0 by the Houston Rockets. You get what I'm saying? He had not shown his dominance yet. Yeah, but no, he had not shown his accolades yet. But his dominance had already transformed the game in a bit. People were doing that blue chips dunk, that breaking the backboard, his cultural significance. Like I feel like Allen Iverson got in on cultural significance more than actual skill. That's just me. Allen Iverson revolutionized basketball for his time, from how players dressed, that whole crossover thing, the crossover dribble. People weren't crossovering before with Allen Iverson, but I feel like cultural impact, and I feel like that's what Shaq had at that time. But I think there's some people. I think there were some snubs, but I don't know if Dwight Howard was a snub. But if you're putting Giannis in there,
there's 11 current players on the top 75.
If you're putting Giannis in there, then you put Dwight Howard in there.
If you're putting Dame in there, you got to put Dwight Howard.
Yeah, I just
like I said, I don't agree with the Dame thing. Giannis has accolades to back his claim, but this goes along with the form of why I think everybody needed, in order for for clarity to be had about this list, we needed to know what went into the decision making and adding people.
Well, I showed you guys who was on the list, who was on the voting list.
No, I hear you, but I'm saying like what went into what do certain players need? Like were you basing it off of their skill? Were you basing it on their accolades? What were you basing it on? The trajectory of them. The cultural significance of it. I don't know. So this is like arguing the Dwight Howard thing. I thought Dwight Howard, granted in Orlando, he was a beast. But he also was but you also got to also realize that there wasn't that many damn centers in the league that was relevant. If you really want to be honest, especially in the East.
But that's the Bill Russell argument then.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But that's the Bill Russell argument.
I get it, but I don't I can't have a full argument about like who should be on the list and who shouldn't be on the list and why that person should be on the list because I don't know what went into them making this list. I don't know what they were basing it on. Because Dame doesn't have no accolades to make this list.
Listen,
Giannis has
I think Dame, I think Carmelo. To be honest with you, I would even, you know how I personally feel about Paul Pierce. I will put Paul Pierce in his list.
He's on the list, ain't he?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think Pierce is on the list.
I will put Pierce on that list before Dame, before Giannis, honestly, before Melo, before Harden.
Harden being on the list was
before
11 current players. Harden, Westbrook,
before Westbrook too.
Curry, AD,
and to be honest with
Durant.
you, if you put Curry, you should have put
Kawhi's on there.
You should have put Klay. Kawhi is an NBA champion 2-3 times over. You get what I'm saying? You put Klay in there. Why is Klay?
Now, I'm trying to cross-reference.
Iguodala, wasn't he an NBA Finals MVP?
I'm not putting Andre Iguodala.
I'm not putting Andre Iguodala.
I will put him above Dame Lillard. I would even put Big Shot Rob Ory over fucking Damian Lillard at this point.
As a role player?
He has more rings than almost all these people on this list.
He has more rings than damn near everybody on this list, except for Bill Russell.
I'm trying to. I don't cross-reference here.
Anthony Davis? Nah. No.
Like I said, Anthony Davis, if we're going on skill, Anthony Davis is a better player than Dwight Howard. Hands down. I don't care what nobody said.
So. I think so too. But I don't think it's just skill. You can't you can't look at it and just say skill. Because if it was just skill, there's some people who were snubbed off this list. If you're looking at skill, Vince Carter, right?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what went into making the list.
You put Carmelo over Vince Carter. What has Carmelo done in this league?
If we're talking skill, he's better than Vince Carter.
I'm just talking about overall. I'm just talking about overall. When you look at Vince Carter's years and you look at Melo's years and you look at what I look at when I look at this list, right, is the significance of this person on their team and in their league, right? When you look at some of these players like Steph Curry, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the active players, Kevin Durant, you know I'm hard on Kevin Durant, but I'll say yeah. You get what I'm saying? James Harden, I'm kind of torn about Harden. I'm torn. And I'm torn about Westbrook, too. And you know I like Westbrook. I'm torn.
Westbrook, I would say Westbrook because he beat Big O.
I'm even torn about Chris Paul.
I'm not going to hold you. James Harden, I understood because of the triple-double shit.
Greatest of all time, though? Of all
triple-doubles. You gotta think about the basis of the triple doubles. It's hard to get a triple double.
No.
He's the leader in the NBA of triple doubles.
Like everybody gets triple doubles. Then if that was the case, Dwight Howard should have been on that too. At one point, he was doing really good with triple doubles as well.
No, but I'm saying like he's beaten Big O's record of the most triple doubles ever. That's
The thing is,
that's
when you look at Chris Paul, you don't put him in the same category as Isaiah Thomas
why
You don't.
or Magic Johnson,
You don't.
No.
as far
you
as
don't.
what
or even or even when you think about it, Jason Kidd is on this list, or even a Jason Kidd. When you look at that PG position,
Jason Kidd and Gary Payton made the list. Both of them made the list.
yeah, I'm surprised Gary Payton made the list too.
I'm
best
very
defender
surprised.
point guard. Best defender point guard. Talking about my man, the glove.
Dennis Johnson. I think Dennis Johnson was a better defender than Gary Payton.
I
Look,
think
we ain't
so,
gonna go
too.
into this argument. I ain't getting into this
think-
argument.
No, I love Gary Payton.
I think so too.
I love
Like,
Gary Payton.
Michael Jordan wasn't scared of no damn Gary Payton, and I believe that.
We saw what Michael Jordan thought of Gary Payton. He
was
said
like-
near
like-
word about
I'm like,
Dennis
who?
Johnson.
He was like, who is that?
Okay,
when
so-
they played the Seattle Supersonics, they was not scared of Gary Payton. You know who they were scared of? Somebody who was snubbed off this list because of their issues, and that was Sean Campbell.
So I did a little cross referencing. Back in 1996, they did the 50 greatest players at 50 years. Because the reason why this list came out is it's the 75 greatest players for the 75th year of the NBA. Okay, there are 3 players on the top 75 list, not counting players who hadn't played yet. There are 3 players that were not on the top 50 list in 1996 that are on the top 75 list in 2021. That's Bob McAdoo, Dennis Rodman, and Dominique Wilkins. Those are 3 players that could have made the top 50 list in 1996.
I don't think
but
Rodman
did not
makes it in
make the top.
96. I don't think.
All right,
Rodman
sorry,
makes it
not
in
Rodman.
96.
But they weren't on
He
the
could've.
top 50 list.
He could have.
In 96 as the top 50 over Dominique and Bob McAdoo, I don't think so.
I mean, he could have over Shaq.
Most rebounding.
And Shaq
Over
was on the
Shaq,
top
yes.
50 list in
Over Shaq,
1996.
He was
Over
already
Shaq, yes.
he was already an NBA champion. He was already his defense
Twice.
prowess, yeah. So he had already like solidified himself. You get what I'm saying? Like I feel like he had already what he did with the Chicago Bulls is like icing on the cake.
So
And
now,
that was-
if we look
That
at
was literally
players,
the year that they started winning.
Yeah.
That's
This is-
second three-peat.
This was right
That's
before.
this
Yeah.
the start of the second three-peat.
This
So
was the
I
start.
understood it.
Their
But
most
he
dominant season.
yeah. But my thing is,
The 72
Dennis
team?
Rodman, huh? Yeah.
yeah, that was
This
96.
was right after the 72-10, if I'm not
No,
mistaken.
72 and 10 is 97.
October of
ain't
96.
No. Yeah, this was after
96,
72 and 10.
it? Yeah.
Because 72
Yeah,
and
so
10
Rodman did not make the top 50 in 1996. Neither did Bob McAdoo, and neither did Dominique. They made the top 75 list. So that means everybody that was on the top 50 list in 1996 is on this top 75 list, which means there were only 25 available spots. 3 of them got taken by McAdoo, Rodman, and Dominique. So there's only 22 spots. 11 of the 22 spots are players that are still currently playing. 11 of the 22 spots are players that are currently playing. The other 11 spots are players that have retired. So the players that have retired that are on the list are Ray Allen.
We didn't pick Ray Allen either.
No.
Yeah, Ray Allen's on
Ray
the
Allen
list.
was definitely one of them. We was like,
Yeah, Ray, Kobe,
Yeah.
and again, this is just Tim Duncan,
yeah,
Overwhelmingly.
Kevin Garnett,
we picked KG too.
I pick KG.
Allen Iverson,
We picked AI.
Yup.
Jason Kidd,
We picked Jason Kidd.
Reggie,
That's
We didn't
debatable.
put him on
now.
Steve,
but I okay.
I feel like Reggie Miller is debatable.
Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki,
Steve Nash got to go.
Gary Payton.
All right, Steve Nash got to go.
Back-to-back
Paul
MVPs. Back-to-back MVPs.
We doing this?
Even though I don't agree with it, it
okay.
happened. I don't agree with it, but it happened.
and Dwayne Wade. So those
Dwayne
are
Wade is fine.
the 11 those are the 11 players that have since retired that are on the top 75 list, different from the other one. And the other 11 players are currently active players. My thing is this. I'm going to be very honest with you.
Okay.
Outside of LeBron James and Steph Curry and
Kevin
probably Chris Paul,
And
No,
Kevin Durant.
not even
Kevin
Durant
Durant.
yet. Not even
And Kevin
Durant yet.
Durant.
You better add Kevin Durant. What's wrong with y'all?
You gotta add Kevin Durant.
He's
Gotta
gonna.
add Kevin
I'm going on
Durant.
my opinion. No, you
Yeah,
can't.
let
You
him-
can't
let
force
him
me to
finish.
change my
Yeah,
opinion.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In my personal opinion, outside of LeBron James, Chris Paul, and Steph Curry, you should not be on a list like this as a current player unless you are one of those three. A current player should not be on those lists unless you are at that level where you're like 20-year career, 15-year career, plus year career. You need the tail end of your
I get
career.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Pete.
That's my personal
But that's why
opinion
you-
about
the-
people
the
being on
thing
this
is-
list.
That's why you do, if you're going by that logic, which makes perfect sense, right? You do add a Kawhi because he was on that Tim Duncan type of tear in the San Antonio Spurs and in the Toronto Raptors. You get what I'm saying? You add him. You add KD. You add Dwight Howard. You don't.
I'm trying to figure out where. I'm trying to find Leonard really quickly.
I'm surprised that Melo made it and Amari Stoudemire didn't make it either. Steve Nash made it.
So their reasoning for
I could do
picking
without
Kawhi.
Steve Nash, honestly, bro.
Their reasoning for
Do
picking
without Amari
Kawhi.
Stoudemire.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
Yeah.
His stats are 19.2 points per game,
Who?
6.4 rebounds, and 2.9 assists in 10 seasons with San Antonio, Toronto, and the Clippers.
Who?
In his 10 seasons, he's a 5-time All-Star, 5-time
Leonard.
All-NBA, 2 times Final MVP, 2 times Defensive Player of the Year, 1-time All-Star MVP, led the league in steals in 2014, 2015, and a 2-time NBA champion. So that's their reasoning for picking Kawhi Leonard.
He's not debatable
fine.
for me. I feel like he
fine.
needs to be on this list. I really don't.
Kawhi is not debatable, she said.
Nah, Kawhi isn't debatable.
No, I feel like I said, I feel like Melo is debatable. I'm sorry. I feel like Melo is not on the same caliber as some of the other people that's on the list.
Can I give you my reason why I think he's in?
Can I? Go ahead. Because I didn't.
No, when you done? I said I'm gonna give you my reason. Go ahead.
Because when you look at the caliber of player that he's being put on a list with, he has nothing to bring to the table to that conversation. He has nothing. He has no accolades to match where he is on that list. He has not really broken any of those records that you said Chris Paul broke records. What records has Carmelo Anthony broke?
I think outside of Carmelo being in the top 10 all time in scoring, probably nothing.
10-time NBA All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
I think mostly it's his Olympic career, honestly.
Damn NBA All-Stars a couple times. He ain't on that
No,
list.
but I think he got in on the merit of him being a scoring champion in his Olympic career. Honestly, I think that's what it was. I'm not.
If you're giving me his Olympic career, I'll give him a spot on the list.
I think
We're
that's what
not
it
going
is.
by his Olympic career, okay?
But it's not saying like, it's
we
not
said
only
NBA. We ain't saying nothing about no USA basketball team.
But Tay, this is what I'm saying. I don't know what went into their decisions. Now you get what I'm going with this? I don't understand it. Like I can get with certain people, if we're going on skills, I can understand certain maneuvers, but then I would still not understand why Klay Thompson's not on this list, but freaking Reggie Miller's on this list.
I would still put Reggie Miller on that list with a Klay Thompson.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about
type of player.
You can't. I don't think they're the same type of player. But the thing is, you can't have Klay, and you can't have Melo and not have Klay Thompson. They're a similar type of player to me.
Klay's broken more records in the NBA.
Yeah, so why is
Melo? I don't understand why Klay's not on this list. I don't.
I don't either.
That stuck me. Remember last week when we was kind of talking about it, and you was like, I don't think Klay shit, and I kind of rose my eyes. I was like, man, has broken a lot of records. I don't know if we could say he don't belong on this list.
And we only did 15. We only did 15 last week.
Too. There's only, when you think about it, when you look at it, and then this is another GOAT coin to add in the LeBron cap feather. LeBron only really won a championship with one other person on that team on this list.
Yeah.
And then you can mix and match Kevin Durant with a couple of others. You can mix and match this one with a few others too.
So I do have a couple of names that I want to throw out there. I do have a couple of names. One of them is just somebody that I love. Obviously, had he not died so early, Drazen Petrovic would have been on this list. Had he not died so early, Drazen Petrovic, there's no reason why that man would not have been one of the top 50, top 75 players in all of the NBA.
Y'all don't got lights in North Carolina?
I'm gonna try to put on the porch light real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna try to put on the porch light. But I got four. So there's four names here, and I want to know where y'all think they fall. And Tay mentioned one of them earlier. Sean Kemp is not on this list.
That's a damn shame.
Tracy McGrady is not on this list.
But y'all talking about athletes.
Vince Carter is not on this list. And lastly, somebody that I think is one of the greatest players in the NBA who never gets really talked about. Detlef Schrempf is not on this list. And so my question is, with those four players, what's your take on those four?
I would take any of those four over the four that I just mentioned that had no business being in this list. Period. Because, like I said, I remember when Sean Kemp was everywhere and everything. He's as underrated to me as how people don't talk about Ken Griffey Jr. in baseball.
Didn't he have the first big man sneaker before Shaq had his?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Sean Kemp is in that list and that type of, because his personal issues overshadowed what he did on the court. Like a Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe was a beast as a boxer, but his personal life overshadowed his skill. So you don't talk about, when you talk about Sean Kemp, you talk about the child support. You don't talk about this man was a legit. They gave he was leading the Supersonics. They gave the Bulls the biggest run for their money in the finals during that second 3P.
What about Yao Ming?
No.
Hell no.
You sound hurt.
No.
You came back hurt over Yao.
I'm not putting James Harden and Wilt Chamberlain in the same sentence. I'm not putting I'm sorry, I'm not putting Chris Paul and Magic Johnson in the same breath. I'm not putting Carmelo Anthony, you get what I'm saying, and LeBron James on that same. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, I'm not.
I don't understand what you don't like about Chris Paul. As far
I always like Chris Paul.
But
I
never
had an unkind word to say about Chris Paul in the show. But when you talk about greatest ever, that's ever.
But if we talk about this era of point guards, he's leading the charge as far as point guards. From when he got to the league to now, he's been leading the charge as far as point guards.
I don't think so.
Who would you put over him?
I would put a few people over him because no, I don't have to explain myself. I said no.
No, it's not explaining yourself. I'm saying I get better clarity of it.
What championships he won?
But there's a lot of people on this list that don't got championships.
Really? There's not a lot of people on that list that don't got championships.
There's a lot of people on this list that don't got championships.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot.
There is. Patrick Ewing don't got a championship. Charles Buckley don't got a championship.
Hold on, but Patrick Ewing was the face of the Knicks franchise for almost 20 years.
But that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. We're talking about, the thing is, even with Allen Iverson was the faces of the franchises that he was about, and they were successful franchises, right? Besides, as an individual player, we're talking about, I can't put Chris Paul on that list. I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't.
But you saying faces of franchises, he was the face of the New Orleans Hornets.
And what did they do?
They made it in the playoffs. They were relevant.
Barely.
They were still relevant, Tay.
Barely.
They were
Chris Paul didn't make a conference finals until quite
they
recently.
Still make the playoffs though.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. I'm sorry. Nobody cares about that.
So if you want to go there, Charles Barkley only made the finals one time, but he's on his list.
And he was the face of his franchise for a long time too.
Which one?
So the Phoenix Suns.
He became the face of Philly too.
He was the face of the franchises that he was a part of, not a secondary player.
If we're looking at point guards on this list, between Magic, Stockton, Zeke, Kidd, and GP, you're also adding who else? Earl Monroe, Earl Monroe. It's a lot of point guard. This is a lot
And the
of
thing is,
pretty
Chris
decent point
Paul's
guard.
prowess
Jerry West.
got overshadowed by Steph Curry over the past 7-8 years. Nobody was checking for Chris Paul when Steph Curry was cooking.
Bob Cousy.
We're talking about 7 to 8 years, but he's been in the league a lot longer than that.
Over the past 7-8 years, and before that, people were still talking about Steve Nash. People were still riding on thinking that Rajon Rondo was the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Nobody put Rajon Rondo over Chris Paul though.
At that time, because the Celtics were the championship team in 2008, right? After that, Chris Paul maybe had a year or two when he was culturally significant in the league, and then it became Steph Curry's league as a point guard.
But we're not talking about. I'm not talking about
That's
culturally.
what I'm talking about.
I'm not talking about culturally significant. I'm talking about as far as skill wise as a point guard. He was the quintessential point guard of the league.
Not to me. Not to
a
lot of people. Not to me and not a lot of people. Because nobody talk about Chris Paul but you. And I'm
not the only one. I'm not the only one that talk about Chris Paul.
I always like Chris Paul. You never looked at Chris Paul and was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? People was like, yo, if he was on this team will win a championship. But you never looked at the Chris Paul team and was like, yo, they're going to win the championship this year.
I think Chris Paul's spot holds up more than Steve Nash's does. I'm still not over Steve Nash being on the list. I'll keep Chris Paul. I won't keep Steve Nash.
I like Steve Nash, so I don't know. And I don't mind Chris Paul either. But
unmute yourself, Pete.
I don't mind Chris Paul either. But when you
sorry about that.
It was when you look at point guards, you had Dwayne Wade, then you had this person, and then you had Chris Paul for a blink of time. And because the teams that he was on didn't do much, people moved on.
Wade wasn't a point guard.
I thought Dwayne Wade was a point guard.
No, he was a shooting guard.
Okay.
Dwayne was a two. But their logic for Steve Nash was.
And then wasn't Derrick Rose a point guard?
I wouldn't put Derrick Rose over
Derrick Rose
Chris
is
Paul
actually
either.
a point guard.
Derrick Rose is a point guard.
I'm not putting him over Chris Paul though.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about during the time when you talking about Chris Paul, right? Mm-hmm. When you're like, all right, when it wasn't Steve Nash anymore, people was all up in arms about what's his name? Mentioned Derrick Rose.
People were talking about Gilbert Arenas more. They were talking about Chris Paul at a point in time too.
Exactly. So people, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. When he played for what's the name?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think yeah. Wasn't it Charlotte first?
The most I had ever heard about Chris Paul you never looked at the Chris Paul team like, yo, they going to the finals and they gonna win.
He was on the Clippers.
What have they done?
But that's when Chris Paul came to relevancy. Like Chris Paul was always known as one of the greatest players. Chris Paul was talked about in circles with people who knew what they were talking about basketball as one of the greatest point guards in the league. But Chris Paul did not have the relevancy to the masses. He was not covered extremely by ESPN. He wasn't highlighted. Like a Chris Paul game wasn't necessarily put on national television because it was a Chris Paul game. It wasn't until he went to the Clippers and that rumored trade to the Lakers that never ended up happening that everybody started talking about Chris Paul.
The rumored trade to the Knicks that never happened. They wanted to make the big three with Carmelo and CP3 and somebody else. I forgot the third person.
Stoudemire.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the next big three in New York. And then the Lakers.
But the Steve Nash thing, 18 seasons with the Suns, the Mavs, and the Lakers, 14.3 points per game, 8.5 assists, 3 rebounds a game. He was an 8-time All-Star in 18 seasons, 7-time All-NBA, 5-time assist champions, and 2-time MVP. And I believe he won those MVPs back to back.
I'll take his ass off there too. I'll take him and Chris Paul. Bye.
I think the reason why Steve Nash is there.
I take Carmelo off the list too. Bye.
I would take Melo off the list.
Bye, Dame.
I would take Melo off the list. I would take Dame off the list.
Bye, Giannis.
I'd take Giannis off the list.
I'll see you NBA 100. You had one one hot finals and everybody riding your cocktails. Nah, bye.
That's the thing.
No.
I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind Chris Paul.
Harden shouldn't be up there yet.
Harden.
I think Harden's close to it.
Even Westbrook.
Like Harden.
Bye.
No, the reason why I understand why they put Westbrook up there is because Westbrook broke Robertson's record not once but twice.
Yeah, but Chris Paul was the first player. I'm going to keep the same energy. Bye Russell Westbrook. Bye Chris Paul. Bye Carmelo. Bye Dame. Bye Giannis. Giannis, I'll see you at NBA 100.
I think Giannis earned his spot in there because of all the accolades he got, including the championship and the Finals MVP.
Yeah, but even if they didn't win the championship, he still would have been in that list.
Because he has the accolades.
What competition does Giannis have? What competition does Giannis have?
But what competition did Wilt have? What competition did Bill Russell have?
That goes back to the Bill Russell
exactly.
argument. What is it like?
I don't think that's fair because y'all watching 1900s, early 1900s basketball with 2021 eyes. After you've done seen this and done seen that. That at that time, that was the best that they seen at that time. You get what I'm saying? So you can't look at something from the 1900s and be like, "Yo, this is trash." And looking at
Could you put Giannis? Could you put Giannis in the same? Could you put Giannis? Let's keep this energy. If he's on this list, can Giannis hold water with the other power forwards and centers on this list? And I think the answer is no.
That's
Are we talking about right now?
That's a subjective argument, bro. I swear.
Are we talking about? Yeah. Are we talking about the list as it currently stands?
The total list.
The total list.
And
but in what frame? Skills? Or are we talking about accolades?
I think it all. I don't think it's only accolades, and I don't think it's only accolades. I think it's everything. You look at the cultural significance. How significant they were to the league, to the NBA culture, to their teams, to the accolades. And to just the PR hype.
And where they stack against their contemporaries. And that to me is a big thing. If you took Tim Duncan in his absolute...
He stacks high against his contemporaries, but I think he will get smashed by the other power forwards.
Yeah, I think you take someone like a Carmelo in his prime. You take someone like a Duncan or Robinson in their prime. Someone like a Shaq or a Hakeem in their prime. I don't know if Giannis is going to stack up against them. Even a Ewing. I think there are even big men. There are forwards and centers that are not even on this list who would have bodied Giannis, and they're not even on this list. I agree with what Tay said. Someone like Giannis, someone like Anthony Davis, someone like James Harden, they should be on the next list. If you're going to put someone like Westbrook on here, I think the only way you do that is you say it's because he did what he did with Oscar Robertson's triple double record. He did something that no one had ever done in 40-something years, and then not only did he break the record, he did the same exact thing the following year. I think he may have done it 3 years in a row, but I think he did it 2 years.
Come on.
Well, Gary was on the top 50 list.
Come on.
He was on the top 50 list.
They put all the top 50 players from 1996 on the next list.
Well, he should have been taken off from then.
This is what we were saying.
So I think
we could take a lot of people on and add people on now.
There's a lot of people on that list that only have one.
But y'all talking about Reggie. Reggie Miller was the face of the Indiana Pacers, kept them a contender in the Eastern Conference for almost 2 decades. And y'all saying no, but Carmelo Anthony, who did nothing for the Knicks, the Nuggets, or where was he last? The Blazers. Now he's coattailing on to LeBron and them. Come on, please. Give me a break. Knicks tape.
Yeah. If he uses Olympic,
Put him on.
If he uses Olympic career, he can.
Where's Baron Davis? Put his ass on there. Where's Rasheed Wallace? Put his ass on there too.
My man's B Diddy.
I fuck with B Diddy. That's my boy.
Is Ben Wallace on this list? Where's Ben Wallace?
I think he is. Is he on this list?
Is Ben Wallace on this list? I don't think he is.
He's not.
He better not be.
If we talking about all that, where's Chauncey? Chauncey Billups on this list? Huh?
You would put Chauncey Billups on this list?
Huh?
You would put Chauncey Billups on this list?
No. Where's all these other people?
I'm asking.
People who I'm just looking for, like, we talk about like all these players who was like significant to their team. Like you put a what's his name, James Harden, but you don't put a Chauncey. Chauncey won a ring. Harden has not.
Can we also talk about? I just realized something. I did not notice this until I was doing some research on Reggie.
Scialabrini.
Ben Wallace should not be on this list. Oh, you wildin'.
I don't know. You probably remember this. I didn't realize this until just now. Do you realize the Pacers could have teamed up Reggie and Detlef?
Whiteout argument.
What? What'd you say?
The Pacers had Detlef Schrempf and traded him to the Sonics right when he started blowing up.
Yeah.
right before he blew up. Traded him to the Supersonics.
That left shrimp was a
And
big
you
freaking deal.
And you could have had Detlef Schrempf and Reggie Miller on the same Pacers teams during the Larry Brown era.
Significance. What about what's his
With
name?
Chris
That white
Mullin,
chocolate
Chris
dude
Mullin
that
and Mark Jackson
You know
too.
that guy that was the white chocolate dude that was doing all the stuff with the basketball and he was on like
Jason Williams.
What about him? He should have. You know what? You have Carmelo on there. Put Jason
No,
Williams.
Matt did say
dragging
Jason
it.
Williams should be on
What's
the
his
thing.
name?
You dragging me. You gonna
You
stop
done
trying to
it?
play my man White Chocolate.
You
You gonna
done
stop
it,
trying to play
Aslan.
my
Why
man
you
White
mad at
Chocolate,
Aslan?
bro. Don't do that.
Where are because if you ain't putting
No.
anybody on the list,
You ain't
Why
gonna
did we
disrespect White Chocolate, bro.
why did we put Pau Gasol on the list? Why he ain't on there?
The GOAT.
He 2 times
Why Rick Smith's not on the list?
Why? Where's Pau Gasol? If we just putting anybody on there, we put Harden on there, but Pau Gasol can't go on there.
There's a lot of people on this list who have.
Where's Chris Webber?
It's
Why
not.
Chris Webber not on the list?
Chris
Why?
Webber should be on the list.
Because of what? What happened?
But you know
There
what I
are
also
people on
hated? Look at a lot of these ESPN people, they only cared about current players. The 3 players that everybody was talking about was why is Dwight not on the list? Why is Klay not on the list? Why is Kyrie not on the list?
I'm not putting
Kyrie
Kyrie on this
on
list.
that list.
Kyrie can be. Anyway, Kyrie.
He's not vaccinated. That's why he's not on that list.
Everybody on the list is
It's a
vaccinated.
vaccination argument, but I'm not even going to go there. But the thing
No.
is, like, why Klay not on that list? Why Klay not? The thing is, the biggest snub to me is Klay.
I
Yeah.
Because the biggest snub is Klay. Klay, I would take Klay over everybody I just named. Gary Payton.
I got people who sitting there
Carmelo.
talking about, so, oh, Dwight deserved to be on it more than Clay. Dwight ain't break no records.
The moment he put them whack dreadlocks in, he killed it for me.
He lost his spot when he put his
he
dress
lost his
in.
spot for me.
But one thing I can argue is Dwight has the accolades from when he was in Orlando. I give you that. He was a beast.
But Dwight ain't done
You put
nothing.
Dwight on that list,
That-
you put Sean Kemp on the list. You
Look,
can't have one without
I
the
think Dwight can go in the top 100. I don't think he needed to be in the top 75.
But where y'all think Sean Kemp? Do y'all remember? Do y'all know who Sean Kemp is?
The Rain Man?
You tried to play me like I was too young to even watch him.
I have to ask.
I think Sean Kemp is going to make the top 100.
Sean Kemp could have been on this list before Carmelo Anthony.
I think Sean
I think
Kemp
the
could
reason
take
why
one-
Klay, I
take
think the
top
reason why
100
Klay didn't,
for sure.
I think the reason why Klay doesn't make it is because Klay really, I think they really overvalued
Be careful.
how he started. No, I think I think the experts overvalued that he started slow, that he didn't come in as like a top 15 pick and light the league on fire for his first year and a half, 2 years.
Tom Brady.
I think
Tom Brady was number 359,000 on the NFL draft, and look at where he is now. You know they full of it. Anyway, can we go back to NFL because I'm getting tired of this. Buy James Harden, buy Westbrook, buy Dame Lillard, especially buy Carmelo. I'm sorry, buy.
I'm down on that hill. Westbrook deserves a place on this list.
Buy Chris Paul, buy. See you in the NBA 100 when you hopefully win a ring.
No, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
So.
It's over for Chris Paul. But real quick, because we are running out of time, who is your NFL MVP at the moment, and can they take their team to the Super Bowl?
Josh Allen. Yes.
Josh Allen can take the Bills to the Super Bowl
Yes.
and win it?
Yes.
Okay. We'll come back. We'll come back to
Josh
that.
Allen. I like Josh Allen. It's either for me, Josh Allen or Tom Brady.
Okay.
Nobody else compares.
Pete?
You to me. Oh.
I think I definitely think Josh Allen is up there, but I'm going to take a little bit of a dark horse. I'm going to take Kyler Murray. Murray to me, I think Kyler Murray to me is really showing out. They are the only undefeated team in the NFL right now. I think they've quietly been a force in the NFL, and no one's really paying Arizona that much attention. Kyler Murray has grown leaps and bounds from what he was, but in terms of that second question, I think they can make the playoffs as long as they continue playing the way that they're playing and everybody stays healthy, which always in the NFL is the biggest thing. Because usually we'd be about almost halfway through the season by now, but we still got 10 weeks to go. If they stay healthy, I think they can. And I think that may be the weaker you know, not the weaker conference, but I mean, who besides Tampa Bay is really gonna give Arizona a run for their money in the
A lot of
in
teams.
that?
A lot of teams.
A lot of teams. I think they could beat. I think they could beat a lot of those teams.
I don't think they could. There's teams I don't think they could beat. I don't think. Let me tell you something. And I hate to give Matt credit here, but even though I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers because he don't talk to his family. I was a big fan of Aaron Rodgers because Green Bay. Well, Green Bay is my second favorite team of all time. I love the Packers. But once I found out he didn't talk to his parents and he don't talk to his family, the problem is his. I think like if you with one person,
he the problem now because he don't talk to his parents.
No, his whole family. I found out it was the whole family, right? So it's like you got to beef with. I think if you beef with everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like the problem is you. You don't get along with nobody, not one cousin. You don't talk to not one of your family members. You're the problem. But anyway, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers almost lost that game against the what's they face? The Green Bay Packers. So let's not forget that we have a man who don't talk to his family on a tear, okay? And they normally pick it up about week 9. Okay?
This man does not talk to his family. It's it, bro. Like, if Tay can leave this man out the Hall of Fame, she would.
I swear.
You don't talk to his family.
It's like the top 3.
Parents to take.
Right. Yeah, no.
It's like the top 3 topics
for your parents.
It's the top 3 topics she get on. Aaron Rodgers and the fact that he don't talk to his parents. Freaking Kyrie Irving because he does Kyrie Irving shit. Kevin Durant because his hair is fucked up. It's always the same 3 that you get at.
Yes, in the wheelchair.
Oh yeah, that's it.
You know what? You know what?
The 4 walls of death right there.
Tay, you think what? You think Tay's right?
Hey, we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out next week. Because the Cardinals, I think, go 7-0 this week. They play the Texans. Next week is going to be the test. Next week they play the Packers. So next week that's going to be the game. I think that's going to be the barometer.
Hold on, the holidays are coming up. He plays with extra force because he don't got the family now. What is that thing? Are they playing around?
He don't got to go see nobody. So he's full
training. He's just
training. The worst.
No, for real, he don't talk. Y'all like somebody? How y'all like somebody that don't talk to their family? Like, Matt, you a family man. You got mad kids. How would you?
There was a point in time that I wasn't talking to certain family members.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Hey, you got one person in your family that don't talk to nobody. That means they're the problem. They're the narcissist.
There's only 3 games on the Arizona schedule that I think are problems.
What's up?
Their remaining schedule. Next week against the Packers,
who are playing really well.
Then that's going to be what, 9, 10, 11, 12. Week 13 they play the Rams.
They're going to be
and then week 16 they play the Cowboys.
Oh, the Cowboys going to be like 0-10 by then. They always lose their nerve in December. October, September.
Dak is actually up there for MVP. He's actually in the running right now.
That's my pick. That's my pick.
Okay.
Dak Prescott is my pick.
October. It's still October. Okay. The Dallas Cowboys they always play their best football in September and October. You'll see when Thanksgiving comes.
My man got his 4-year, 160 mil. And he like, yo, I'm about to show out.
You're going to be on the soup commercial on Thanksgiving.
So Dak is your MVP?
That's my pick. Come on, man.
So
he set out the whole preseason, came out the door.
I want to see if Dre picks who I think is the dark horse candidate.
I ain't even get
my pick. I'm gonna go with the man who don't talk to his family. I'm gonna go with the man.
That was my dark horse. That's my dark horse.
My dark horse is, and I think it's a real dark horse. But the stats that he's been putting up in the first 6 weeks are really tremendous. Matthew Stafford may be a dark horse MVP candidate for what he can do with that Rams.
He finally got somebody to throw it to.
Right.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, for sure,
Josh
Tom Brady.
Allen. And who's that?
Kyler Murray.
Who's that guy from the Browns?
Not Baker
Oh.
Mayfield.
Not Baker Mayfield.
Nah, hell no. Not Baker
Hold on.
Mayfield.
Done.
The media loves Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, they love him as much as they love what's his name? Tim Tebow. But
But he done. He injured his non-throwing hand. He done.
Oh, I forgot about that. Let's see how much I don't
done.
pay attention.
It's all about Dak Prescott and Colin Murphy. That's what it is.
if the Cowboys can get through the holiday season,
He hurt too, ain't he?
Dak hurt his calf. Yes.
Yeah.
Who, Dak?
Yeah.
And then you know he's an MVP.
But he don't play till next week.
He
don't
ain't
play
coming
till
back
next
to-
week.
He
He
ain't coming
good.
back to next season. Talking about
He-
the
he-
suit for his
He
family.
getting all the rest that he needs.
He got all of his
He's getting all the rest he
brothers that all
needs.
look
He's
the
coming
same
back next week.
on that suit commercial.
He'll be back next week.
Listen, he the MVP of soup commercials, bro. Like it's so good.
Oh, it could be
Aaron
worse. It
Rodgers
could be
is not
Baker
gonna be
Mayfield.
his family, and that is so atrocious. Who's gonna be at his wedding? His State
Lord.
Farm agents?
Say, you gotta relax.
Yo,
You gotta
all
let that
right,
go.
so
You really gotta let that go.
yo,
Wait.
shout out to the
Wait.
nah. Yes.
I'm not finished.
Oh God.
Hold on, let me make sure we went through all the shaky odds. These three teams slated as the title favorites have had rough.
We don't got time for that.
We
We don't got time for that.
right now. Have most. Hold on, let me read it in Dre's writing. The three teams slated as the title favorites have had rough-looking weeks ones in the NBA, and the three most slept-on teams have looked really good. Is this a sign of things to come? I'll start with you, Nat.
Well, this is our time. You know, shout out to Jobber Network, the Jobber podcast.
Oh, this is what y'all doing? This is what y'all doing?
His own
It's
talk.
his own talk.
And when I when I start missing shows like y'all, then y'all gonna know.
I'm not doing this with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's only the first week. We're not doing this.
Only
We're
first
not doing this at all.
what?
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. We ain't gonna do. Dre, end the show. Dre, end the show. Over this.
Somebody call my advocate.
This is
Yeah, advocate. You got advocate?
I don't know yet.
Who's your advocate?
I don't know if he's on the payroll or not.
Okay.
All right. Shout out again to Jobber Network.
my head hurt.
Y'all really just gonna ignore the hell I said? Okay.
Who's the top?
You want to
okay.
talk? You want to talk about the Nets and you want to talk about the Nets?
You want to talk about the Nets?
That's all she
You
want to
wanna talk about the
do.
Nets?
She want to talk about the Nets. They won yesterday. Go ahead.
Can we talk about the
it.
Lakers fight on the bench?
And how are we gonna have a sports show on a Saturday? And AD and Dwight Howard got into that whole little bitch ass scuffle last night on the lot.
You
And we
talking
ain't
about
gonna
the
talk
two top 75 players?
It's not
There's
that. It's
one
not.
top 75 player and then the snub.
Yeah. So what happened? What happened with the Lakers? The Lakers are looking kind of flakers right now.
Look, all right. First of all, it's only the first week. It's a whole new team. The White's probably still salty that he's not on the NBA 75 list. It's not that deep.
That's
It
what the argument
happens.
was.
It
That's what the
probably
argument
was. Nah, but from what I was told, it was something about a missed pick and roll assignment, and
Who's
I guess
missed
the white
pick and
fellas.
roll?
It was a pick and roll situation, and they missed.
Oh,
They
You need
missed.
to lay
Yeah.
You need to lay down.
Something's wrong.
I was like, who?
You gotta, yeah. But yeah, it was just a miscue and timing, and they got into it.
Matt
I
out here
guess-
talking like Gerald Green on the coaching bench.
Oh yeah, shout out to that man. He just retired.
I
So,
thought
I
he'd
mean,
been retired.
I thought so too, but
All
All
right, Pete. I know you got to step out.
Take that
drive
long
safe.
drive back up to New York tonight, so I gotta
Why
get
you
out
taking
early.
it tonight? You said that about 4 times. If you tired, you can take it in the morning.
No,
You
I
work
gotta
from home.
go. Gotta go.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta go.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Peace out, squad.
Yeah, bye. Bye.
Gotta relax. Gotta relax. Gotta relax.
Get him off.
Gotta
my-
relax. Gotta relax. You gotta stop. Shit's too much. But yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't. I mean, teammates go through it. I just think it's unprofessional that they did it in front of everybody. You want to talk about something? You should talk about the Rajon Rondo situation. where him and the fan got into it. That was more significant
Rajon
than
Rondo
anything.
is always getting into a fight with somebody.
Rajon Rondo is known for stuff like that with fans, so I'm not mad at it.
I'm just saying, man. Like I said, it's still early.
Hopefully
they get by.
It's not early. The damn Miami Heat not playing with children
at all.
At all.
And it was so fun to yell at Mike. I'm like, yo, Mike and my cousin, because you sitting there, oh, Miami trash. I don't know why. I don't know why you and Big Baby keep hyping up Miami. They trash. I'm like, all right. As soon as they got Giannis inside Miami, what? They held that man to 15 points. They held Chris Middleton to 11. It was a wrap. I don't want to hear nothing about.
You see what I talk about Chris Middleton? You see exactly what I be talking about Chris Middleton? You be getting me mad.
They didn't have enough. They didn't have no. They had a lot of injuries. They had the same amount of injuries that they had.
A lot of injuries. So Bobby Portis was gonna make a difference.
Yeah,
Bobby Portis was gonna make a difference.
Get out of here with that crap, man. Y'all had the same amount of injuries y'all had when y'all played Brooklyn and y'all spanked them.
I should have ended this show a few minutes ago. I'm sorry.
No. Now the show got going.
It's getting boring now. Bye, guys. So for the Job Tears Network, 2.5 goals.
Shout out to everybody. Yes.
BK Smoke with Matt. What's it called? What's that show that you randomly pop up with once in a while? After the year?
We do after the year.
That BK, what's it called?
Brooklyn BS.
The Brooklyn BS? I was about to curse.
I've been cursing this whole end of the show.
Got me upset. I'm going to disrespect Chris Paul like that. What's wrong with you?
He disrespected his teams when he did.
That man is a point guard god. You better stop it.
Aaron Rodgers disrespected his family.
That's him last year. Point guard.
What?
That's what they was calling him. That's what they was calling him.
A who?
Point guard.
A point guard?
Hold on. Before we leave, though. Before we leave, though, can we shed light at light-skinned Jesus doing light-skinned Jesus things? Can we shed light to that?
Yeah, but they got light-skinned Jesus and light-skinned Peter and Paul, and they snubbed Peter and Paul. Klay Thompson.
Peter and
Paul. Yeah,
the disciples.
They snubbed his mans, bro.
I fell asleep. Sorry.
Yo, Draymond about to go to the top 100 list. Yo,
I think so.
I think he's gonna go to 100 list.
I think so too.
If he get on and Dwight don't.
Dwight's gonna make the list. He has the accolades to back it up, but
he ain't gonna make the list.
I think he is. It's just a matter of I don't know. He has the championship under his belt, even though it took him joining up with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Anthony Davis, who everybody's saying, oh, he deserves to be on the list besides Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis haven't even played enough games to be on that list, bro.
He played like 200 games.
Well, if you want to be honest, now there's Bill Walton, but
Bill Walton gotta get the hell off that list.
I can't believe Kendrick Perkins said that. That I was like, yo, he is bugging.
Bill Walton gotta get off that list. I don't care what nobody says.
Yo, Jeff said that too. He's like, yo, he only played like 4 seasons. I'm like, bro, he played from like 70 something to like 90. What are you talking about? So yeah, we played 486 games. I said, damn.
Come on,
486 games. Yeah.
All right. We gotta go. Bye. Shout out to everybody.
I'm freaking tired.
Love y'all.
All right, yo.
I'm tired too. For BK Matt.
I work more. You know what? I'm tired of hearing y'all say y'all tired. I work more than y'all.
Here we go with this. Really? We know. We
don't get paid. We don't get paid to be on the airplane. Well, I get paid to walk on the airplane.
I just went through 3 different time zones, and y'all talk about y'all tired.
There we go.
We just try to be like you when we grow up. Like
you know, there's seats on these airplanes you can sleep on, right? Just throwing that out there.
I can't sleep in planes, trains, or cars.
Me neither. I tried.
I can sleep.
I can't even
sleep
get
in all of those.
I can't even get mad at you. I can't
do it. I wish I could, but I can't. I can't sleep in trains, planes, cars, nothing.
Though I like the pillow around the neck thing. It's kind of comfortable, but I can't really
it just makes me comfortable to watch a movie.
Yeah, nah.
And then all these airlines, like Dre, you work in the airline industry, like why don't
we'll talk about this?
Hold on. Why don't all planes have TVs on the damn plane? Like,
I mean, pay for.
I'm gonna explain off camera.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
All right. For the voice of Generation Pete, for BK Matt, for the head of the Yerrr Sports Show table, Queen Tay, and it is your boy Big Baby signing off. Peace.
You need to get some sleep.